Hello. Welcome to the PARS Health TV channel. We hope you're having a good day and you are happy and healthy. In this channel, we give you tips to keep you healthy and out of trouble. In this video, we want to talk about vitamin D and everything you need to know about it. This video is for educational purposes only, and if you have any specific condition or illness, you should consult with your doctor. Vitamin D is a hormone, and if you want to impress your friends and appall your enemies, you can pull out the full name, 1,25 Dihydroxy Vitamin D, or Calcitriol. But call it vitamin D for now, because the interesting part is what it does. Figuring out all the factors that can affect your vitamin D level is complicated. Your body makes vitamin D when sunlight hits the skin. You can also get the vitamin from food, mainly because it's been added. Few foods are natural sources of vitamin D, or by taking a supplement. The process by which the body makes vitamin D is complex. It starts when the skin absorbs rays in the invisible ultraviolet V, UVB, part of the light spectrum. The liver and the kidneys also participate to make a form of vitamin that the body can use. Vitamin D is important for all kinds of processes. Healthy bones and teeth. Vitamin D helps your bones absorb calcium. Severe deficiency causes a disease called rickets, but even mild deficiency is a risk factor for osteoporosis and fractures later in life. Many women who came to a hospital with hip fractures had occult vitamin D deficiency. It wasn't bad enough for anyone to notice any obvious signs until they broke a bone. Mental health and brain function. Brain development in children, for mood and mental health throughout life, for forming memories and making decisions, and for maintaining brain function in old age. Low levels of vitamin D are associated with diseases from depression to Alzheimer's disease. Immunity and autoimmunity. It's crucial for healthy immune function, and it may play a role in some autoimmune diseases. For example, a lot of studies suggest that lower vitamin D levels are associated with a higher risk, or worse symptoms of multiple sclerosis, and that supplementing may slow the disease. Weight and appetite. Here it's a little murkier because it's not clear whether vitamin D is a benefit for weight and metabolic health, or whether it's something else in the sunlight that delivers the vitamin D. Some research has also linked lower levels of vitamin D to cancer and other diseases, but so far, it's not clear whether that's casual, or just an association, so people who have higher vitamin D levels are just healthier, and healthier people tend to get less cancer, but it's not the vitamin D specifically. If you like topics like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to see daily videos just like this one. Alright, let's get started. Many factors influence a person's vitamin D levels. Here are 6 important ones. 6. Where you live. The further away from the equator you live, the less vitamin D producing UVB light reaches the Earth's surface during the winter. Residents of Boston, for example, make little if any of the vitamins from November through February. Short days and clothing that covers legs and arms also limit UVB exposure. 2. Air quality. Carbon particles in the air from the burning of fossil fuels, wood, and other materials scatter and absorb UVB rays, diminishing vitamin D production. In contrast, ozone absorbs UV radiation, so pollution-caused holes in the ozone layer could end up enhancing vitamin D levels. 3. Use of sunscreen. Sunscreen prevents sunburn by blocking UVB light. Theoretically, that means sunscreen uses lower vitamin D levels. But as a practical matter, very few people put on enough sunscreen to block all UVB light, or they use sunscreen irregularly, so sunscreen's effects on vitamin D might not be that important. An Australian study that's often cited showed no difference in vitamin D between adults randomly assigned to use sunscreen one summer, and those assigned a placebo cream. 4. Skin color. Melanin is the substance in the skin that makes it dark. It competes for UVB with the substance in the skin that kickstarts the body's vitamin D production. As a result, dark-skinned people tend to require more UVB exposure than light-skinned people to generate the same amount of vitamin D. 5. Weight. Body fat sops up vitamin D, so it's been proposed that it might provide a vitamin D rainy day fund, a source of the vitamin when intake is low, or production is reduced. But studies have also shown that being obese is correlated with low vitamin D levels, and that being overweight may affect the bioavailability of vitamin D. 6. Age. Compared with younger people, older people have lower levels of the substance in the skin that UVB light converts into the vitamin D precursor. There's also experimental evidence that older people are less efficient vitamin D producers than younger people. What are the various sources of vitamin D? Getting vitamin D from food. Some foods contain vitamin D, but unless you eat a lot of them all the time, they probably won't provide enough to live on. The most vitamin D rich foods are fatty fish that live in cold waters, like salmon and sardines. Wild caught salmon. Canned mackerel. Farm raised salmon. Herring. Other fish contain very small amounts of vitamin D, but nothing noticeable. So, if you ate 6 ounces of wild caught salmon every other day, you'd be able to get enough vitamin D from food, but for most people, that's just not going to happen. Realistically speaking, most of us will have to rely at least partly on the other two sources, sunlight and supplements. Getting vitamin D from sunlight. Sunlight is the way that humans were designed to get most of our vitamin D. When sunlight hits your skin, you can synthesize it yourself from cholesterol. Studies have shown that a healthy adult can get most of her vitamin D from 5 to 30 minutes of direct sunlight. While the sun is high in the sky, it doesn't take a huge amount. Sunscreen prevents this from happening, so sun exposure with sunscreen doesn't count for vitamin D. Getting vitamin D from supplements. Food doesn't provide enough vitamin D for most adults, and it's just not realistic for all of us to get enough sun exposure, especially in the winter when a lot of people spend all the best sunlight hours indoors. That leaves supplements. Vitamin D supplements are one of the most common recommendations precisely because vitamin D is so important, and so hard to get. It's reasonable that even a person eating a great diet might need one. How to know if you're not getting enough vitamin D? Concerned your levels of vitamin D are too low? The best way to know for sure is by asking your doctor, who may do blood work to assess your vitamin D levels. Common symptoms of deficiency include feeling tired and achy, though often there are no symptoms at all. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to a loss of bone density, which can contribute to osteoporosis and fractures, broken bones. Severe vitamin D deficiency can also lead to other diseases. In children, it can cause rickets. Rickets is a rare disease that causes the bones to become soft and bend. African American infants and children are at higher risk of getting rickets. In adults, severe vitamin D deficiency leads to osteomalacia. Osteomalacia causes weak bones, bone pain, and muscle weakness. Researchers are studying vitamin D for its possible connections to several medical conditions, including diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, and autoimmune conditions, such as multiple sclerosis. They need to do more research before they can understand the effects of vitamin D on these conditions. What to know about vitamin D toxicity, or overdosing on vitamin D? When it comes to vitamin D, more isn't always better. Since the vitamin is fat-soluble, it's stored inside the body, and can be harmful if your levels get too high. Too much vitamin D can cause vitamin D toxicity or hypervitaminosis D. You don't have to worry about overdosing if you rely on your diet and sunlight to reach 600 IU a day. It's once supplements get added that becomes a concern. It's very clear that vitamin D is important, but it's not clear yet how much is the optimal amount to get from food, sunshine, and supplements. It's possible that some of the associations between vitamin D intake and health could be caused by confounding factors. Eat plenty of fatty, cold water fish like salmon and sardines. Get out in the sun when possible. Remember that wearing sunscreen prevents the absorption of vitamin D, so time spent wearing sunscreen doesn't count. Take a vitamin D supplement if it's right for you. If you are interested in videos like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.